Hi, I'm Gail and welcome to lowcarbrecipe.ideas.com. Today we're going to make ourselves some kind of sweet. We're going to make a low-carb chocolate coconut fudge. It could even be a chocolate bar, but I'm going to say it's fudge. It's got a nice flavor, and I think you're really going to enjoy it. So let's get started and I'll show you how to make this simple recipe. Now the first thing we're going to use is cocoa, and I have half a cup of powdered cocoa. Now I'm just going to show you the products. I like showing the products so that you kind of have an idea of what I'm using. And when you look at the carb count, it is 2 carbs and 2 fibers, so that makes 0 net carbs, which is really awesome. Now we're going to use a half a cup of xylitol. Now I powder my xylitol. I get it at the bulk barn here in Canada. I always put it in my Ninja and I make it into a powder. So this is my little container that I use, and I just keep it stored in this. When I run out, I throw some more in, because I find in the regular crystal it doesn't dissolve very nicely, so when you put it into a powder form it works so much better. Alright, now the next thing we're going to do is I've got a 1/4 of a cup of coconut milk. Now my coconut milk is nice and thick, whereas some is runny as all can be. And in this recipe you can use a runny one. It doesn't really matter. Now the coconut milk I like to use is mealy. It's super thick, but I think everybody says it's hard to find. Now they happen to carry it at the superstore and at Food Basics, so I really don't know if you have trouble finding it in other stores. And it's 1 carb for a 1/4 of a cup of the coconut milk. Now I'm also going to put in a half a cup of soft coconut oil. Now last week when I made something with the coconut oil, I didn't have to melt it at all because it was so warm out that it melted in the container. But this week I had to put it in the microwave for a few minutes. Now this is a particular brand that I use, and when you look at the carb count, you've got 0 carbs, and it's an excellent coconut oil. So now that I've got this all put in together, I would rather stir it up myself, but the Ninja food processor does work so much nicer. It's just I'm lazy and I hate having to clean up the machine. So I'm just going to take my time and take a few minutes, and I'm just going to mix this up really well. But like I said, it works a lot nicer to mix it all up in the Ninja, but I'm just going to work at it here. I switched it over and used a metal spoon because it's quite thick. Now I'm just going to add a 1/3 of a cup of unsweetened coconut, shredded coconut. And I'm just going to stir this and mix it all in. It's a very simple recipe. Now that I've got it all mixed, and I'm going to be honest with you, it's easier in the food processor because it was a struggle trying to stir this because it's quite thick. So now I've got my Pyrex dish, my glass dish, and I've taken a piece of parchment paper, and I am just going to take the chocolate and put it in the middle, and then I'm going to smooth it all out, press it down and smooth it into the bottom of the dish on the parchment paper, and then we'll put it in the fridge. Just going to take our time. It'll take a couple minutes to do this, but just smooth it out into your dish here. Now, I think the first time I made it, when I was experimenting, my coconut oil was runnier compared to what it was this time, so it was easier to work with. So I think next time what I'll do is melt it up a little bit more. You can melt it right down, and then you've got a better product to work with for spreading it out. So I just took the bottom of the spoon and I just kind of spread it around and tried to make it as even as possible. And that's it. That is our chocolate, low carb chocolate coconut fudge. And now I'm going to set it in the fridge and let it harden, and then you can cut them into squares and enjoy. So I'll be back with you soon. Wow, does this ever feel like a blooper video this time around? I had it in the pan, in the fridge, and then I thought, oh, I forgot to put in my vanilla. It's the sugar-free vanilla flavor that I like using, and I put a teaspoon in. So what I ended up doing was I took the dish, I put it in the microwave and nuked it just to soften it up, and I threw it all back into my dish, and I just want to make sure this is right. So we're going to put in a teaspoon of this Tyranny sugar-free vanilla. I bought it at Kroger's. I'm not sure if they sell it here in Canada. You'll probably have to look around. So we're just going to stir this all up and mix it. And because I nuked it, that's even nicer. It's easier to work with. So maybe that's what we need to do when we make it ourselves. So I'm going to get some parchment paper again, and I'm going to put it back into the dish and then back into the fridge. We're not perfect, you know, and here was a fine example on this video of how I kind of mess things up, but it'll be good in the end. So we're going to try this again. It's funny, we went to Cuba for my daughter's wedding, and I just find I've got jet lag or I'm still in vacation mode, and I am dragging my butt these days. But I'm sure I'll get back to normal soon. So we're going to spread this around. And get it all evenly in the dish, and then we're going to put it back in the fridge. So here is my low carb chocolate coconut fudge. It's quite delicious. It melts in your mouth. Melts in your fingers too, so you got to keep it in the fridge. It's very good. If you're looking for something sweet and a change, this is delicious. Go to lowcarbrecipe.ideas.com. Try this recipe and try some of my other recipes. I'll see you in the next video. Bye now.